I'm Warren Mendez here in my home kitchen, and today I'm going to be taking the flavors of a hummingbird cake and turning it into a slice. So a hummingbird cake has the famous flavors of banana, pineapple, spices like cinnamon and allspice, and usually it's a very fluffy cake with a cream cheese icing. But I'm going to take those flavors and make a multi-layered slice in this pan. So for that base layer, I'm going to kind of be doing a bit of a short crust with a little bit of a coconut flavor as well. So first of all, I've got some desiccated coconut, then some plain flour, and just 2 tablespoons of caster sugar. As always, a pinch of salt just for a little bit of balance. And then I've got some melted and cooled butter. Create a bit of a crumble here, which we can press into the base of the pan. And we can just tip that straight into the prepared pan, and then just use a spoon to spread it out. And then when you've distributed all the crumb, just start to compress it all down. And then we're going to go into the oven. I've got it at 160 fan forced for about 15 minutes until it's nice and golden. So while the base is in the oven, we can get on to the main filling where all the flavor of a hummingbird cake is coming from. So we're going to start off with very ripe bananas, and I'll just mash them as finely as you can. Now in with some brown sugar, melted butter, and just give that a stir. And then going in with 3 eggs. And now in terms of spices, I'm using some cinnamon, ground ginger, and some allspice. So I've got them all mixed in here. A little bit of flour just to bind everything together. And now I'm going to use a whisk and just combine all that mixture until it's nice and smooth. Pineapple, I'm just using some canned pineapple pieces. So they're already in these beautiful chunks, and we're going to keep them in the chunks because that way when you slice the slice, you're going to see bits of pineapple in there. So just drain it. And just with the pecans, I've roasted them for a little bit in the oven before, and then just straight into the bowl. And as always, a pinch of salt for some balance, and then just stir that all together. So I've taken the slice out of the oven when it was nice and golden, and it's still warm. What we're going to do is use the back of a spoon to press along the base, and that way you'll make sure that it's going to be against the edges. And now we're ready to pour the mixture over the base. Just smooth the mixture out with the back of a spoon, just making sure that the pineapple is distributed everywhere. Okay, so when that's all smooth, go into the oven. I've got it at the same temperature, 160, for about 30 minutes. Okay, so the top has set beautifully. It's nice and golden, and we'll just let it cool down completely for about half an hour, then get it into the fridge so it can set before we do the final layer. Okay, so this is completely chilled, so we can get onto the final layer of the icing, which is cream cheese based, being hummingbird flavors. And so either using some hand beaters or a stand mixer, just gonna loosen up the cream cheese. And then just in with some icing sugar and just mix it together. We're going to go in with some coconut oil. And now we can get this straight onto the top of the baked slice. And then just use the back of a spoon or a palette knife to just evenly spread all of that beautiful cream cheese. And now once that's spread out, just use your spoon or palette knife just to kind of create some ridges or waves, just so you have a nice pattern on the top. And then finally, just some more chopped pecans. And now a bit strange, but I'm going to use an egg flipper to make sure that I press down on all the nuts so they get compressed into the slice and don't go moving about. And now into the fridge for at least an hour, but you could do this the day before or overnight, so it's going to set beautifully and we can slice. Okay, so the topping is beautifully set, so we can now get it out of the tin. So I've got whatever I'm going to serve it on straight here, and because we took the time to line the slice, it should be really easy to get it out. So now the trick to getting some very distinct slices is to use a very sharp, very hot knife. So I've got some hot water here in this jug. And then if you heat the blade slightly, dry it off, you'll then be able to cut through the slice and get a beautiful cut segment. So there it is. We've taken all the beautiful, punchy flavors of a hummingbird cake, turned it into a very, very indulgent slice. Short crust coconut at the bottom, all those punchy spices from the hummingbird cake in the center, and those bursts of pineapple, and then of course that very, very rich cream cheese frosting. That's a winner. Well, I finished this entire slice. If you'd like the recipe, head to delicious.com.au.